from winds, and then this will still be standing up and everything. So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. It's pretty warm in here.
Mighty heat. Yeah. That's how they stay warm in the winter, huh?
Thank you.
Let's go for beer, Mom.
I think we'll walk over to
Vibrating things in the ground. Yeah.
one of our new square foot boxes. We're testing a mix. Hopefully we'll be bagging a square foot mix this fall with Mel Bartholomew's approval, the guy who wrote the book on square foot gardening. And it's doing very well. This mix consists of 50% of our revitalizer compost and 25% each of vermiculite and coconut fiber. We wanted to get away from the peat moss because it's so expensive to get it all the way down here. So we're investigating the source for the coconut fiber. Much better product because it's renewable, sustainable product, and it's working really, really well. All this stuff, this has only been planted about, I'm guessing, 3 weeks.
Oh my.
And
Roger, someone had a question about what kind of tree this is.
around the edges of the labyrinth, we use the planting spaces for memorials. And this tree was planted as a memorial to a person that worked at Whole Foods that was a great friend of Jane's because she used to work there, John's wife, and that is Aurora sweetwood. It's a native tree. It's a wonderful tree. Has a white flower that smells like cinnamon in the springtime. Very fast growing.
So that
Aurora sweetwood.
Arroyo?
Aurora sweetwood.
Does it have spines?
No.
So
No.
does it need a lot of water?
Nope. It's very drought tolerant.
Is there a pistachio tree that looks a lot like that?
Yeah.
Chinese pistache.
Because I have
Yes.
a tree that looks like that in my yard, but I thought I bought it as some kind of a pistachio tree, like a Texas pistachio. Or
It has the compound leaves like a lot of other trees. It could be compared to the pistache.
It looks more like a Texas pistache than a Chinese pistache. That's a Chinese pistache, that tall one over there. It looks like a walnut tree or something, or a sumac. One right on the other side of the Will Fleming Yopon. And the city used to recommend the Chinese pistache, was on their planting guide, and they'd even give you a rebate if you planted them. Now they've taken it off because it's so invasive by seed. We planted one on the grounds, and now we have several.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. And the Texas,
We were at the end of the line, and by the time we got up, you were through.
this is
Give me
called,
the Reader's Digest.
sure, this is called square foot gardening. It's a technique developed by a man named Mel Bartholomew. He's up in Utah, and he's been doing this for a long, long time. This is the first year that we've done it, and it's really, really taken off and been a great success for us. We're testing a new mix. We want to eventually bag a square foot mix with Mel Bartholomew's approval, and he uses 50% compost, 25% peat moss, and 25% vermiculite as the mix. And the compost is a combination of several different composts, humor and dairy compost, whatever, but he wants you to use several different ones. So our revitalizer compost consists of several different types of compost, so that's what we use as the compost. This mix is 50% revitalizer, 25% vermiculite, and 25% coconut fiber, because we want to get away from the peat moss because it has to come all the way from the peat bogs, and it's kind of expensive by the time it gets down here, so we're looking for a way to make it a little more reasonable.
And
Is it
there,
drying? Is there a bottom in it?
No, there's no bottom in this. It's sitting right on top of the soil.
the other thing about peat moss is that they are depleting the peat bogs to harvest it.
yes.
So
And the coconut is a renewable, it's product. So it's like rice hulls. We use those in our mix instead of peat moss a lot. But this is holding moisture really well. This is, I think, 3 weeks. We planted this 3 weeks ago. Squashes were planted from seed. These are winter squashes. They germinated in 2 days because the coconut fiber is holding moisture. This gets watered maybe every 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna go redo my school gardens.
And yesterday I looked out here and things were drooping and I said, well, should I water it? And I felt it was soil and it was a little moist. I said, no, I'll just let it go. It was just the heat that's causing it to droop.
But the roots don't grow into the ground, right? Or
No,
do they?
no, they don't.
So
I've never seen them do that so far. We had some square foot boxes in the vegetable garden and everything that we had in there in the fall. When we took out the plants, nothing had gone down below the 6 inches.
You don't do anything to the ground. You just put the box on top and put the mix in.
Level the ground, make sure all the weeds are out. You don't want to put it right on top of lawn or something like that. If you do put it on top of grass, you want to put weed barrier on the bottom of the box or cardboard or something like that. People have put them on top of St. Augustine and it goes anaerobic because the grass stays wet and so the soil starts to sour at the bottom. So you can't do that. You have to either clear the area or put some kind of bottom if you're going to put it on top of a lawn or something like that.
and Mel Bartholomew says you can put these on top of concrete on your driveway,
sure.
right?
Absolutely.
really? Doesn't get too hot?
No. Well, it's going to keep the concrete cool, So, no, people have been doing
It's amazing.
wooden gardens on top of their driveways for a long time, but and it works very well.
Do
But-
carrots work well in there?
Carrots work really well. We had carrots in a box down there in the vegetable garden, and they were the most beautiful little carrots
Even at this depth?
at this depth.
What is this, 6 inches or is this 8?
Well, this is 6 inches. Most carrots don't get more than 6. Maybe they get 8 inches long, but
The ones that grow in Texas, anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, the ones that you get from the grocery store are grown in California. Those
California,
varieties
deep,
probably
sandy
won't grow here.
soil,
Yeah,
we're not
there. Yeah.
No, you can't do that here.
So they're not 6 inches or 8, right?
6 inches.
So, but you don't sell this mix, right?
Not yet. I hope we will.
But you sell coconut?
Yeah.
No, we don't sell the core either, but it is available, I think, somewhere. You can go online and see if you can find it.
Yeah, it's coconut coir is what they call it, COIR. Comes in bricks sometimes.
Yeah, is it in sheets or? I've seen it so.
Not the coconut liners.
It's the same material, but
Okay.
over here is the core, the coconut fiber that we had. They mixed up this mix, and then I had to screen it because it had a lot of this in it, and I didn't want to put that in our square foot box. But this is actually what they make the liners for the planters out of.
The leftover
That's coconut
fiber.
And this would make a great mulch. It's very tight. I almost wish we would get the coconut that had this in it, but I think we'll probably go with the one that's had this screened out. But I'd love to see this bagged as a mulch.
Are you going to mulch the square foot garden or leave it as is?
You don't have to mulch because you're planting so intensely that the plants are acting as a green mulch. You can. I would do tomato, maybe something like that, just to keep the soil temperature down. But the rest of these plants, the green canopy is shading the soil, so it's not as necessary to mulch a square foot bed as it is if you were planting in the ground.
So the squashes actually have enough room to spread out and
Well,
and go everywhere.
they're going to run. They're going to run out the sides is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
A cucumber or something like that, you can put a trellis on the end of the box and grow them straight up. That's how Mel does it. Squashes, winter squash, you could go straight up a trellis. You can see how this one over here is starting to run, vine out. So that's just going to run. It's probably going to take over the irises. If you've ever grown winter squashes, they're like pumpkins. They just they go crazy.
The
so.
squash that took over the world. So I realized I neglected to introduce Volunteer. He has started going around to different organic events and filming them and putting them on YouTube. So you all may find this and other videos on youtube.com/organictexas. And last week's class with Don Gardner, if you missed it, on trees, it's up